Hello, everyone. Welcome to iCritic Live. This is a podcast live stream where we talk about entertainment, pop culture, and life in between. I am Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net. And we've got a bit of a topical discussion to discuss today. Now, I don't normally like to delve into politics or religious discussions or things of that nature. However, it was brought to my attention that conservative commentator Matt Walsh decided to make some comments about anime. And whenever a conservative figure or a liberal figure or a Christian figure or an atheist person decides to make some broad comments about anime, which anime is obviously something I love. You can see that in a lot of my other videos on the site. I figure I have to do some investigating to see if there is any merit to those claims. Now, we're going to hear what Matt Walsh actually said. Personally, I think it was more innocuous than what people made it out to be, but at the same time, it was also ripe for ridicule at the same time. For the record, I do want to be upfront. I do not particularly care for Matt Walsh. I don't think he's nearly as bad as some people say he is, but it is true that he says a lot of really, really dumb things, and his arguments aren't always the well thought out. When he was commenting on the whole Halle Bailey Little Mermaid situation, he said something really dumb like, mermaids, scientifically speaking, were white or something like that, and they weren't black. And it's like really dumb comments like that. And I would not be surprised to find out he had certain views that he denies to have, but I would not be surprised if he had them nonetheless. So, but on the other hand, once in a while, he does nail it. I mean, if you ever look up Matt Walsh Ketchup blog, which is a blog he did about someone asking for no ketchup on their cheeseburger, it is very well written. It's very funny. There's a reason an article like that would go viral. So, I mean, he is a smart guy. He just makes really dumb arguments sometimes. So, it's just one of those things. I mean, maybe he's like the Richard Dawkins of conservative commentators. Like, you can tell he's smart, but you can also tell he's smart enough to not say some of the things he's saying. So anyway, we're going to go over there, and after we, let's go over here. So this is what was tweeted. This was from Jason Campbell, and I think Matt was doing he was just doing a live stream of some sort, answering basic questions, and this is what was said. All right, so let's first of all say what this is and what this is not. This is not an in-depth critique from him on anime. He made a very, very, very bold statement, and he admits that he doesn't really have any reason to back it up. He's like, and that's where the ridicule is coming in. Like, hey, is anime satanic? Well, they just asked what he thought about anime, and he says, I think it's satanic. I don't have any reason to back it up. I don't have any evidence. It's just there's something a little off about it and things like that. You know what? In some ways, this is not that far off of a comment that other people in the past has made. Keep in mind, I've been an anime fan for a lot longer than most of you have probably been alive. I hate to say it, but I remember in the early 90s when people would like ask media figures and Larry King, and some of these were very liberal people, like, what do you think of anime? And anime was not nearly as big as it was then as it is now. In fact, by the way, I'm going to take this off it's kind of hot in here. But they would say things like, oh, well, it's nothing but girls in bikinis and giant robots. That's what it is. Or they would say it's nothing but CP. I remember that John Donahue and I think it was even David Lynch, I think it was some famous film director was talking about how anime was basically just smut and that it was there to corrupt lives. Now, it is true that there is a genre of animation that is smut, much like there is a genre of live action films that is smut. They weren't completely lying that anime was smut, and they weren't completely telling the truth when they said that all anime was smut. And like Matt Walsh, they did not necessarily have a whole lot of experience with it. Now, I think that Matt Walsh's comments are actually a little bit deeper than just anime. You might have noticed there was a second part of that comment that did not get nearly as much traction, that if I was in a room with him, I would really like to question him on, like, why do you think that adults should not be watching cartoons? Now, he said with rare exceptions. I'm assuming he's talking about Disney and Pixar, studios that for one reason or another, they got Academy Awards, they got the critical nod from the important people. So, hey, it's cool to watch those. Watching things like SpongeBob and Sailor Moon, probably not cool. So I think, and I remember reading an article years ago from Walsh, which was talking about a boy who was suspended from school because he was wearing a My Little Pony backpack. And of course, Walsh's take on it was really stupid. But one of the things he did say that stood out to me was he's like, look, even if regardless of whether or not, boys should be wearing a backpack that he considers to be for girls, he wouldn't let his son watch My Little Pony because he felt it had no nutritional value. Why he would not let his son watch a show that's literally called Friendship is Magic and teaches you to be nice to one another. Well, you can definitely debate that one for a little bit if you want. But he has some off-the-wall opinions. So this whole, he seems to be very, very concerned about what people watch. This his right to be. He can feel free to feel comfortable or uncomfortable things that he like. But his big, bold claim that anime is satanic is not well researched. He admits it himself. And it's a very bold statement for, something that he is just saying off the top of his head. But is there any truth to that? Now, since I am sharing the window, you might be getting a clue that I might be going somewhere. I'm going to be the odd man out. I'm going to actually say something in his favor that maybe some people don't want. Yeah, there is satanic anime out there. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? I mean, look at some, like, here is an article, the top 25 best demon anime of all time. Demons, of course, come from Satan, if you believe in the Bible. So what are some of these shows? There's Gabriel Dropout, which I've not heard of. The Demon Girl Next Door. I couldn't become a hero, so I reluctantly decided to get a job. This is a demon show, as you can see. There's visuals that seem a little satanic there. Kekakaishi. Devil Man, Crybaby. This is literally, it's called Devil Man. It is demons have returned to take over the world. To fight this evil, Akira unites with a demon to gain power. He becomes Devil Man. Devil Man can wield demon powers, yet still has a human soul. Sex and gore put this one in the adult anime category. You have Gara Zero, Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan, as Miss Beelzebub likes, Ushitu Tora, Endro, Chrono Crusade. I like Chrono Crusade. Blood Lad, Rage of Bahamut. Then when you get even closer to the bottom of the list, then it's kind of like, Claymore. That's a Overlord. Yu Yu Hakusho. That's all about hunting down demons. Black Butler. Blue Exorcist. I think in Blue Exorcist, the guy is literally playing the son of Satan. High School DxD. How to Not Summon a Demon Lord. There's a title for you. And look at that shot. I'm going to get demonetized by alone. Demon Slayer. I love Demon Slayer, but it's in the title. Demon Slayer. And what's number one? Well, this is one that me and my wife love to watch. Inuyasha. Inuyasha is a half-demon hunting for a sacred jewel called Shikon. A young student named Kagome is pulled into a well at her family's ancient shrine. This sends her to the past with Inuyasha in feudal Japan. Kagome takes up archery and finds out she's a reincarnated princess. Every episode packed with demon fights, magic, and a little bit of humor. They also mention... Oh, wait, no, they did mention that Inuyasha is a half-demon, suggesting that a demon had a relationship with a human. So now some of you might be looking at this like, oh yeah, but almost all of these are made for teens and adults, which again would fall into Walsh's second comment. He doesn't believe that adults or teens should be watching this stuff. But what about kids anime? Well, I decided to look up 25. Let's go to the top. Best anime to watch with kids. What's number one? Naruto. Well, there's some demons in that. Card Captor Sakura / Card Captors. There's a lot of magic in there. My Neighbor Totoro. Well, Totoro was a spirit monster. I would, by the way, not object to kids watching this one at all, but, Totoro technically is a spirit monster. Haikyuu. Okay, that's fine. That's about volleyball. My Hero Academia. Superhero stuff. I guess if you consider superpowers to be demonic, which some conservatives do, that would fall into that category. Hikaru no Go. This is about the board game Go. I could almost say, yeah, this one's safe if you don't want demons, but on the other hand, there is a ghost spirit that attaches himself to Hikaru, and they play a game of Go. It's pretty inoffensive, but technically there's some spirits in it. A Silent Voice. This one's fine. This is about a deaf girl. Little Witch Academia, which it's in the title. Barukamon. The funny thing is I've heard of this one. I have never seen it, so I don't know, to be honest. Girls Panzer. I think this is like a tank show with girl power. I don't think that has any. But Full Metal Alchemist. Look, a show about alchemy. By the way, I would not consider this one an okay anime for kids. I think it's got too much blood and sensitive topics for kids to watch. Last Exile. Got some magic in it. Fairy Tail. Definitely got demons in that one. Pompoko. Again, the whole spirit thing. Spirited Away. The spirits and demons are literally in every frame of this movie for the most part. Ponyo. Yep. That's got some magic in it. Inuyasha. Again, I wouldn't pick Inuyasha as a kid's show for the record. Yokai Watch. Definitely a gray area on that one. It's about a card game, but they do battle with spirits. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Technically not an anime, but yeah, there's magic and spirits and stuff like that. Izumani 11. I think that's about a soccer team, so that one's probably not. Legend of Korra, same thing as Avatar. Kiki's Delivery Service is about a witch. It's about a witch. A girl who leapt through time. I wouldn't consider time travel spiritual or satanic, so this one's probably fine. Fruits Basket. Most of the characters have a curse on them where they turn into animals of the 12 zodiac. Howl's Moving Castle. Yep, there are some demons in that one. So, is Matt Walsh wrong when he says that there is something demonic and satanic about anime? And the answer is no. He's not. He is not saying. He is absolutely right in that assessment. There is demonic and satanic anime out there. Doesn't mean it's really satanic, though, because here's one thing. I didn't bring this up earlier. I am a Christian. I go to church. So I definitely have talked to a lot of parents at my church about anime, and I have eased their concerns about many of them. Like, I am the one who eased them into the fact that no, anime is not all girls with big boobs and bikinis. No, anime is not all giant robots. No, Pokemon is not evil. It's really, really innocuous when you get down to it. So what would I tell my Christian friends, parents of Christian children? I would tell them that Matt Walsh is not completely wrong. There are anime that deal with supernatural, spiritual elements. This is a fact. I mean, even though he admitted he didn't know much about anime, he isn't completely wrong when he says that some anime is, now he made the claim that anime is satanic as a general blanket rule. No, I do not believe that at all. I don't even think that's remotely close, and that's a good reason to ridicule him. But he's not wrong that some anime is satanic and does invoke demonic spirits and things like that in order to tell its story, much like back then when they made the comments like all anime is, bikini girls with big boobs and mecha. It was not true as a blanket statement, but it was true on some level that these animes do exist. And we would be naive to not assume that. Now, does that mean Christians should be concerned about anime? No more so than any other form of entertainment. I mean, there's the same thing you have to do with any form of entertainment. You have to know what the show is about. You have to know about the content. The rating can sometimes be a guide to help you. And even though some of these series have magical elements, it doesn't mean that they are necessarily of the devil or that they're invoking the devil. Heck, even that Blue Exorcist show, which has a main character that is the son of Satan himself. As a Christian who has read the series, and I don't care for it much if I'm being honest, but when you read it, it's clear that they are using the devil on a super level surface to tell their own unique story. The Satan in this manga does not even closely reflect the Satan of either the Gospel, the Book of Mormon, none of that. And when you watch things like Yu Yu Hakusho, I wouldn't let kids watch it because I think it's too violent for most kids. It's got a lot of graphic violence and stuff like that. But in terms of like how the spirit world works, it might be inspired by Buddhist teachings, but it's not it's not real. It's its own fictional made up thing. It's really no different than when C.S. Lewis took elements of the Bible and crafted the Chronicles of Narnia. Well, Chronicles of Narnia is definitely uses Christian theology to shape its worlds and characters. It's not necessarily reflecting the Bible. It's all allegory. There is no Jesus in the Chronicles of Narnia. There is no the Bible in the Chronicles of Narnia. There's no Satan, not literally in the Bible. There is a witch. There are tempests out there. There is the creation of a new world and things like that. But it's all an allegory. And if you didn't know that he was inspired by the Bible, you would not know ever. And that's what a lot of these shows are. I mean, a half demon, there is no such thing as a half demon. And yet, Inuyasha, main character, he is a half demon. But there is nothing in any spiritual text that says that is even remotely possible, nor what that would even look like. So here's the thing. I do not like Matt Walsh. I think the comment he made about how adults with rare exceptions shouldn't be watching cartoons, I venomously disagree with that one. But his comment that anime is satanic, well, here's the thing. It's a dumb comment. It's not being made in good faith. But we have to be honest. Technically speaking, he's correct. There are some anime out there that do use demons and satanic imagery in their storytelling. It's usually not using it correctly, and it's normally just for fun, kind of like how people dress up in Halloween, but they're not all Wiccans or something like that, but they'll dress up as a witch because it's like, they like the way witches look and things like that. That's what's really going on. Now, for him, that is probably a bridge too far. It's his right to feel that way. I disagree personally, but is anime as a whole a satanic thing that only Satan? No, it's not. But there are series that involve Satanism. There are series that use demons and magic. And yeah, if that thing makes you uncomfortable, obviously you'll want to read about it. But on the other hand, the WB network, before it became the CW, they would air Seventh Heaven, which was about a Christian family, at 8 p.m. And then at 9 p.m., they would air Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Most of the people I knew at the time, most of my Christian friends, we watched Seventh Heaven. When Buffy came on, we changed the channel. And that's what you do with anime as well. You watch the stuff that you're comfortable with, and you don't watch the stuff that you're not comfortable with. Anyway, that is my little 20-minute rant on what Matt Walsh said. I'd like to know what you think about it. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.